gonna call the order at 5:32, and I'm gonna have Charles Merengue lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, a few comments before we start. Number one, we are having our fall festival rescheduled to this Saturday, October 28th. We are looking for a band. The world famous band, headed by Charles Merengue, is no longer available. So I'm throwing it out there. If anyone has a suggestion, let me know right away. Otherwise, we will do our best to find a suitable replacement.
What about Measured Soul?
Who?
Measured Soul, Eric Kruger's guys, yeah.
Well, I'm totally good with them. I have people checking, but I like them. I would love to have them.
Yeah.
They're available. Well, the point is, we're looking for a replacement.
You're on the Arts Commission, right?
Well, liaison.
Yeah. Did we check with them? Maybe any of the bands we had over the summer? Maybe we can reach out to,
I mean,
like the Billy Joel one?
the Billy Joel Stiletto's probably already booked.
Oh, okay. I like
That,
that.
that's, but it's short notice, it's
Yeah.
tough to get anybody. It's short notice, that's why. Halloween parties.
All right, secondly, an announcement, we have completed our tax incremental financing, bonding. Everything came out very well. We have the money, we're ready to proceed. So I will be setting up the first meeting of our tax incremental financing committee. I remember Dorothy, you're on it. Is there anyone else on the borough board who's on it?
Yep.
Charlie? Okay, and then we'll be setting up that first meeting in the next few weeks, but, the work will commence starting now, and, we're ready to go, so we will proceed accordingly. And as you know, that's the funding that we use when we run out of our state funding and our federal funding. So we have our ARPA monies in place. We haven't spent 5 cents of it yet. We have our 6 million from the Connecticut Community Challenge ready to go. We have our Community Investment Fund money. We have brownfield money, and the money's in place. The time is right to proceed. We're proceeding, and our backup TIP money for matching funds, etc., is in place. So we are 100% ready to go on all of our projects. Any questions on that? Okay, item 4, plan of conservation and development. As you may recall, at our last meeting, I gave a homework assignment for everyone to look at the plan of conservation and development and tell me tonight if we have any comments, changes, etc. We're on a timetable to get this done. I'm going to be calling for a motion to endorse the plan as written and as presented to you with any suggestions that we want to make. So I'm going to make a suggestion to beef up the facade improvement program and make sure that that is clearly identified in the POCD. I'm going to take some comments that I received from the Conservation Commission, which I did agree with, that I will add to the plan of conservation and development. And the question at this time, is there anyone else who would like to make a comment or a suggestion before I call for a motion?
All of the comments from the conservation.
Okay,
They sent out an original notice to the.
I have them here somewhere. I'm just gonna say they were. Here they are.
Read your digest version.
Definitions, a little extra on the historical sketch of Naugatuck. A section on tourism. Some spelling and, locating some essential brooks and streams, that they don't think were clearly identified. So, I mean, I'm good with all of those comments. Okay?
Yeah, sometimes they're a little off the wall.
All right, so at this time, I will entertain a motion that the Borough Board endorse the Naugatuck Plan of Conservation and Development 2023 as presented to us with the comments that we approve of the POCD Conservation Commission comments that I will attach to the motion, and that we ask them to beef up the facade improvement program section of the POCD.
Excuse me, Pete. Excuse me, Pete. Before we do that, I have a question.
Oh, okay, right, okay, let's put the motion on the table. We have a motion by Deputy Mayor Knapp. We have a second by Burgess Dambowski. I recognize Mike Bronco. Right.
Yeah, on page 16, there's a point here. It says, consider the feasibility of amending accessory dwelling unit regulations. Why do we want to do that?
Hold on.
What's that?
Well, I mean, I didn't put that there, so.
I know.
I can't answer the question. So the planning commission put that there.
Well, I don't think that we should have to consider that at all, because we've already voted it down to not accept these ADUs. And I think that should be removed from this plan.
Okay, so let me amend the motion to include comment number 3, that we recommend removing on page 16, consider the feasibility of amending accessory dwelling unit regulations. Are you okay with that?
He's a builder, yeah. I'll do
Okay, Fran, on a second. All right, so the motion as amended is that we will endorse the 2023 POCD as written, with 3 comments. Number 1, that we beef up the language on facade improvement programs to be more consistent with the plan that we are about to adopt, which we will send to them, that we remove the language of considering the feasibility of amending accessory dwelling units on page 16, and that we further accept the comments from the Conservation Commission that I will attach to the motion.
Motion. Second.
So we have a motion and a second on this. Is there any further questions? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, passes unanimously. And Nancy, I'll get you the materials I referred to.
Item 5, motion to adopt the following proposed resolution for 0 and 30 Church Street, Naugatuck, as the read.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. So this is an issue that we have discussed many times, and I'm gonna go through it again this evening and take additional questions. And I have handed out some additional materials, which we sent all Burgesses by email, and we've given you packets. So I'm just gonna take you through the exhibit that you've been given. The first one is that, we did receive a positive referral, from the planning commission pursuant to 8-24. And that is, in the record at this time. One of the main things I want everyone to look at is the map that I'm holding up that is entitled Fire Department Required Rear Access to Building. And what this map shows us is that the property at 30 Church Street and the adjoining lot have erected really 4 barriers that prevents vehicular flow in and out and behind the buildings. So as you can see, there is a fence that has been placed that prevents access to Rubber Avenue. And I'm sure, as many of you recall, cars used to be able to come in from Rubber Avenue to get behind all of those buildings. They no longer can. The access strip from Church Street to the left of the building, which is labeled here, concrete blocks to be removed for fire department rear access, have blocked access from Church Street to the rear of those buildings, and have further blocked access from Rubber Avenue to get even further behind those buildings. And fourthly, that there are at various times of the day chains that prevent access to the buildings and behind them from Church Street in the main entrance. So those 4 areas are critical because for our Church Street project, which we refer to, and we're all familiar with our Church Street map, our upgrades to Church Street come with a condition from the state of Connecticut. The state of Connecticut has allowed us to do the project on condition that we can obtain access to the rear of those buildings for fire protection. So I've given everyone a report of a modification request from the state fire marshal, which says that we can implement our plan for Church Street and for downtown Naugatuck, provided that you comply with the letter attached from the fire chief that we will get rear access to the buildings on Church Street. The properties that we intend to acquire are the properties that are blocking access in 4 different ways to the rear of those buildings. So we've discussed this before, but everyone should take note of that and take note of the formal ruling from the state of Connecticut. In the past, we have all reviewed a parking analysis that I included in your package again from Rose Tissot and Company, which state pretty clearly what I think we all know, that at this time we need additional parking in the downtown area. And as our downtown projects proceed and we have more people living in the downtown area, we're going to need even more parking. So I re-included that parking analysis. In order to be totally fair to the property owner, I've also included a report from their expert that takes issue with our expert. And as you can see, if you read the report, it says that some of the areas of our report are at issue. But what's not at issue is that, we still need parking. And even if, the comments from BFJ planning are appropriate or correct in part, we still have a need for parking. And, if there is a 20-30% mistake in our analysis, which I don't think there is, we still need more parking. So we have an expert telling us that, and I would ask everyone on the board to rely on what they can see and hear themselves when we go downtown. Right now, we're short parking, and as we grow, we need more parking. And we've all selected this area as the best area for parking. We've also included an approval from zoning for this property, which shows how it used to be with no barriers and parking and cars coming in and out from Church Street with no barrier from Rubber Avenue. So the property is necessary for us to acquire for two reasons: to obtain access, to obtain needed parking, and to allow us access to the rear of the buildings for fire protection. So I'm going to stop there and ask if anyone has any questions on any of the new materials that I have submitted, or any questions in general about this acquisition.
I have two questions. The new area behind those stores, does that make up for some of the 134 shared spaces we're short? Do you know if that was included in the study?
No, those were not included because they're not available parking.
So that'll make up for some of those
That'll make up
134
for
spaces.
some of it.
The other question I have is, are any of the businesses that are there going to get reserved parking just for their businesses behind the buildings?
So that will be up to the property owner. So some of those businesses are not behind 30 Church Street.
Right.
So they will, not get any assigned spots. The tenants of the building, may very well get assigned spots.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions on 30 Church Street?
I think all the reports are pretty detailed and we just need to move forward.
Any discussion?
BFA planning. Just reading it on the surface quickly, it almost appears as though they're judging the distance from the train station to that area based on the old train
I
station.
don't know what you're looking at.
Planning,
Oh,
BFJ.
her
planning,
report, yeah.
her report, yeah. It looks like, you know, they're judging it based on the old train station, not the new train station. So they're saying that beyond that mile, as opposed to the new train station, which will be less than that.
Yeah, I think the best way to read that report is that even if it's right, it does not include the need for additional parking.
Correct.
All right, do we have any additional questions or any additional discussion? Okay, I'm gonna call for a roll call vote. And I'm gonna start with Burgess, Megan Smith,
Yeah,
Rocky Vitale,
Yes.
Charles Meringue,
Yes.
Dorothy Nathcunen,
Yes.
Fran Dembowski,
Yes,
Deputy Mayor Nutt,
Yes.
Burgess Bronco,
Yes.
Burgess Mazzetti,
Yes.
and I am yes. So the roll call vote is unanimous, and The motion passes unanimously. All right, next item. 1-year extension of agreement with BMP Waterbury LLC / Amazon, discussion possible action. So, I have received today the final language for, the First Amendment to the purchase and sale agreement with, Blue Water, what are we calling them here? BMG Waterbury LLC, to authorize a 1-year extension of the construction feasibility period and project approval period. We have with us, from Blue Water, BMG, Christina, would you come forward, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about this?
Good evening, Mayor, Board. My name is Christina Bernardin. I'm a Vice President with Blue Water Property Group. We are asking for a 1-year extension to our purchase and sale agreement. This allows us an additional year to go through with construction feasibility and project approvals of the site. It's no shock to anyone, the site is very challenging. The topography ranges about 250 feet in the site, and it needs to be leveled to build a building on it. And also the project approvals takes a lot of time as well. So we're asking for more time to go forward with that. We're super confident about this. We, are excited about moving forward, and we think we can, the 1 year will get us to the finish line.
All right, any questions of Christina? All right, any discussion? Charles, you have a studious look on your head.
No, I see this as being part of the process. We know that was tough land right from the beginning to build on. And to give another year is just the right thing to do, in all fairness to the developers. So I don't see any problems at all. The challenge to build it.
Whatever they need.
Rocky, you're good?
Absolutely.
All right, Bob, everyone good?
100%.
All right, so I will entertain a motion that I be authorized to sign the First Amendment to the purchase and sale agreement with BMG Waterbury LLC as presented. Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 7. Yes,
Motion to recess to executive session at, 6 o'clock for discussion of the following real estate parcels A, B, C, Y, and Z. Norgonic Industrial Park, Section 3, new lot acquisition of Peter Paul Ocean property. Sale of lot number 3, Industrial Park 1/2, collective bargaining dispatchers, Chapter 90. That's new and pending litigation, inviting in John Waller.
Second.
all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
By the distributor.
All right, time is good.
6:30.
32.
All right, I'm gonna reconvene the special meeting at 6:32. And as we come out of the executive session, we will go to item 8, matters emanating from executive session. And I will entertain, first of all, a motion that I be authorized to enter into a purchase and sale contract to sell lot number 3 in the Naugatuck Industrial Park, Section 1/2. I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2, Rocky, are you?
I think it's 2, isn't it? That's right.
No,
you
it's
know
not
what?
three.
I think it's one, because I think
I
two
think
starts at
I think it's one
on
also.
the other side of Waterbury.
Well, let's just say 1//2.
Yeah,
Not our new
I think it is,
industrial parks, as discussed in executive session.
motion.
Second,
All right, so we have a motion and a second. And I'll just say by way of discussion that, after the agreement is signed, it will be a public record and available for the press. All right. I will also entertain a motion that I be authorized to enter into a non-binding letter of intent with the Ancien Group, ANCIEN Group LLC, to acquire the Hershey property, provided that the Ancien Group agrees to repurchase the same property from the borough on terms agreeable to the borough of Naugatuck.
Motion.
second,
All right, and just by way of discussion, I'd like to state that our intention is to really dig into the issues there, the kind of way to make a transaction happen to help an interested buyer with a use that we all really like, and to try and acquire the property so that we can resell it to that group, and in essence, help them acquire the property. Any thoughts or comments on that approach?
All right.
I agree. I think that this is the stimulus we need to make something happen with a property that's been 16 years.
yes,
An eyesore and a dilemma, sitting on premium property, that something needs to be done with, and is the right action.
And we're, in essence, helping control our own destiny by taking action of this nature. And at the same time, protecting us from, owning property that we can't resell.
then next month will be 16 years since the plant shut down,
50,
16,
60.
2007.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. And this will conclude our last meeting in this exact nonpartisan configuration.
Do we have to do the contract?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Bob.
That's why he's
Only your
deputy
first
mayor.
mistake of the year.
I withdraw my last comment, which I'll say, and I will also entertain a motion that I be authorized to enter into
It's okay.
a collective bargaining agreement with chapter 90. Do I have a copy of it?
It took everybody.
As discussed in executive session.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. I'll just say that upon execution, the agreement will be a public record and available to the press and the public. Any questions?
Nada.
Is it?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I will now say that, it's our last meeting as in this exact reconfiguration, if we include George, who's not here, but, who knows, maybe we'll all be back. But in any event, I enjoy the fact that we have a non-partisan group, and no matter what happens, I want that to continue forever. And I'll just say this, we can, partisanship leads to nothing but problems look at Washington DC.
Oh, my God.
You just
Bongo is
we
right.
can't have that. We have to operate in the best interest of the borough and run the town like a business as we do.
Good luck to all.
Best of luck.
Good luck to
Ted.
everybody, gals.
And now, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
It's been nice,
Second.
it's been nice serving with you.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?